Well, a very good morning to everybody, and I'm very sorry I'm not able to join you at this amazing celebration of 20 years of the HPP. This year is actually my 25th year of coming back and forth to Durban. So it's really been front and center of my entire working life. Taryn has asked me to say a few words about how I came to be involved with the HPP and how I came to be involved in South African research of HIV in the first place. I guess it goes back to when I was a student. I went to Kenya to work as an assistant in a school just outside Nairobi when I was 19. I spent 6 months there and fell in love with Africa, and I basically spent most of my undergraduate years as a zoologist, and then when I became a medical student, I tried to spend as much time as I could in various countries in Africa. And I guess my plan was to live and work in Africa as soon as I was able to. And of course, plans change, and I ended up training as a pediatrician and spending a lot of time a long way from Africa, really, in the course of that. But when I was doing my PhD in Oxford on working on HIV in the late 90s, obviously the epidemic in South Africa was exploding, and it seemed to me that maybe there was an opportunity for me to realize my ambition of spending a lot of time in Africa and particularly South Africa, where I'd never actually been. So my first visit was to South Africa was to Durban in April 1998, and I was at the time just a year into a 3-year period of working in Boston at the Massachusetts General Hospital, the Partners AIDS Research Center there with Bruce, and my memory of that first visit was Jerry had been incredibly encouraging and helpful in setting this trip up, and Anna Koutsoulis had actually provided us with some blood samples from some of the patients she was studying at McCord's Hospital, and we ran some ELISpot assays, which were relatively new in those days, and used this one hood that was in Jerry's labs in the pediatric department on level 4. There was still same place, although the hood is gone. The assays worked beautifully, and actually you could see this was going to be an amazing opportunity to do lots of fantastic things. And initially we started the group with Nolwandle Mkundwanizo. I couldn't get the click. I've never been able to do that. And Ken Animali. This was our group of 2 people. But we needed an on-site leader, and I remember a very important visit soon after when I came to Durban and met Fanny, and the meeting was at 8 a.m. And it felt like 1 a.m. in the morning to me, because that was the time in Boston and I was extremely tired. But nonetheless, Fanny was fantastic, and her involvement really enabled us to take this thing forward and make it happen. And obviously her knowledge of the university and the community and her ability to form a really nice working environment, which encouraged people to come in as scientists. And also she brought in some amazing clinical leads to run the PES project after Krista and Andy Prendergast had sort of led the way. Wendy and Natasha were really fantastic. The next sort of major event in the life of the HPP, or the genesis of it, was really the International AIDS meeting in Durban in 2000, July 2000. And I remember just thinking, if only we had a little space in an office somewhere, we could do so much more. And in those days we didn't have cell phones, but I somehow managed to make a telephone call to Bruce in Boston, and I said, is there any chance you could lay your hands on, I think maybe $40,000 US? That's all we'd need to kind of have enough space to kind of really massively increase what we could do. And I remember Bruce saying, well, I think it would be easier probably to get money to build a whole institute. So that was a surprise. But that was, as I say, in July 2000. And in April 2001, this was when Bruce made his first visit to, I don't know if it was Africa, but it was certainly to South Africa. And he'll tell you, I'm sure. And he not only came himself with an entourage of others who were later to, like people like Marcus and Marilyn and others who were later to play a big part in the HPP as well, but also the Kate Carr, the CEO of the Elizabeth Glaser Pediatric AIDS Foundation, Elaine Gallen, Sylvie LeBlanc, who is the leads the medical program for the Doris Duke Charitable Foundation. So that was April 2001, and to cut a long story short, I think it was November 2001, we actually received this grant that enabled us not only to build the DDMRI, which was completed in 1 year. I mean, it was finished in 2002, and opened by Jacob Zuma in July 2003. So it was incredibly fast. So not only was that funding for building the institute, but also gave us some funds to get the science going and really kind of have a big training component to the work. And that's certainly been, carried on massively since then. I mean, in terms of how the HPP has evolved that time, I mean, it's been incredible to think about the quality and amount of amazing work that's come out. Also the training that's been done, not only to local scientists and clinicians, but also internationally, and the number of people who've managed to benefit from the HPP and the work that is being done, internationally as well as locally, I think has been remarkable. And also the good that is done directly to people living with HIV, programs like Pairs originally, and then Fresh and Baby Cure, just to mention three, are really terrific achievements and on many levels, I think, are tremendous. In terms of what now and going forwards, I mean, for me, the HPP remains sort of front and center everything I do in research. I think currently the work I'm doing there is the most exciting. It's back to what I enjoy the most. And it started 20 years ago with the PES study, which was a really wonderful study I absolutely loved. It was enabling kids to get treatment which they never would have done, their mothers also. And at the same time, we were doing some quite original treatment interruption type studies, which, although they didn't achieve cure straight off or post-treatment control, nonetheless, that is a sort of, these are now the ambitions of what we're doing now in Baby Cure. And I think with much more realistic chance of success, at least I like to think so. And the same, obviously, is happening with Fresh and many other of the studies going on. So I think I should end there and let somebody else have a chance to talk. But I just wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone who's there today, and all those people who've been involved in HPP the last 20 years and allowing me to sort of participate in this wonderful movement and program that's been going. I think it's been a massive pleasure for me, to understate it, to be involved in all this work, and incredibly humbling, particularly the involvement with the families, the mothers and the kids themselves, and the clinicians, all the people working on these programs. It's been a wonderful journey for me, and I hope that it's not it's a long way from being towards the end of that. And certainly, as far as HPP is concerned, a massive congratulations to all of those involved in what's been achieved so far. And long may this great work at HPP continue into the future. Thank you very much, and have a great day.